How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. My name is FaZe Crypto, and let's get this crypto. Of course, today is July 18th, 2019, and with all of this, of course, Facebook hearing, about cryptocurrency and Facebook and their unholy marriage, I think that it's important to talk about cryptocurrency that actually has some credentials on building internet and infrastructure that we can all sort of get behind. And I think Holochain is interesting in that accord. We want to talk about peer-to-peer, real decentralization, no ledgers and no admins. Of course, Holochain, like every other cryptocurrency, I mean, nothing's perfect. Obviously, it's going to take some time. I mean, getting through all the hoops and bounds that we've got to jump through. But today we saw an interesting milestone. Of course, lawmakers saying Bitcoin can't be killed, and then within 30 minutes, we saw the price of Bitcoin jump up to 10K, which is, of course, definitely a confidence booster, and I'm sure it was nice welcome gains for anybody who was buying their Bitcoin during the recent dip. And of course, I think that all this stuff that's been going on, the hot water that Libra has been in, has actually been pretty good for cryptocurrency. Of course, the volatility of the space continuing. But I want to look beyond blockchain for a second, and I think that Holochain is a good vehicle to explore what cryptocurrency is eventually going to be forced to evolve into. This chart right here is pretty interesting as well. Involving Holochain, definitely something. Looks like something is going to happen here. Keep an eye on 0.618 FL and falling wedge. Definitely interesting. And when we want to talk about the future of cryptocurrency, it's important to keep in mind how early we are in the space and exactly what the potential of something like Holochain could be. Holo team now out doing more learning development meetings, and of course expanding all these different aspects of it. And we've got some interesting roadmap points to check off over the next year, I'd say. And it's definitely interesting. And this right here is also pretty interesting. Cloud hosting market for distributed applications. And now I was speaking with my friend who actually has been using Holochain with their business, and it's definitely interesting to hear about all the advantages that it's brought, up until this point. And I think that right now, one thing that could really bust Holochain out from the, where it is right now, I would say that, much like we saw, our friends, Amazon.com from humble beginnings, Bezos and so forth. I think that Holochain is sort of, being a cryptocurrency that's valued under a penny, definitely does have its perspectives. There's obviously going to be people who are advocates of any given cryptocurrency. Then there's going to be people who are detractors, making all different sorts of points. But I think one thing that's going to separate Holochain is going to be application, real world, peer-to-peer hosting, and of course the new internet, which I know a lot of people are thirsty to see, the internet run in a more a way that's more in keeping with the tradition of what the original philosophy of cryptocurrency. And I think when we see something like Facebook's cryptocurrency in this sort of hot water, it is definitely interesting to see a lot of the criticisms that people have been pointing towards Facebook cryptocurrency, and essentially how Holochain is to a large extent exempt from a lot of the different criticisms that you could throw, because they've basically evolved with the cryptocurrency in mind. We want to talk about versatile solutions, look no further. Like I always talk about on this channel, I spend hours every day just dedicating time towards reading white paper, and doing research regarding a lot of these different things, and to really learn what we're dealing with when it comes to Holochain, you'd want to, just read the white paper and, do your own research. Of course, these videos are for entertainment, educational purposes only. Of course, this video is not financial advice. I'd encourage you all to go and do your own research when it comes to Holochain and so forth, and any cryptocurrency in general. But I mean, after doing the research, I'm pretty confident, in the potential for something like this, and the more adoption that it sees, I think will serve to really solidify itself as a interesting entity on the global stage. Bringing a lot of those different aspects of the global community together, which I think is also very important when it comes to the future of cryptocurrency and the ownership of your own data, control of your own identity. These are things that are hot button issues for a very important reason, and I think that they're issues that they ring true with the especially the cryptocurrency crowd who understand what's at stake right now. But of course, I think that the general public is becoming more and more aware of this conversation, and I think that it's also important that we get beyond the centralized systems, and of course, Holochain is working to do that. And I think that it's also interesting just to see how a lot of the things that Holochain specifically aims to do and is doing, and certainly has accomplished up until this point, are things that are certainly some of the key advertisements that bring people into the cryptocurrency space, which I'm certainly proud to be a part of the Holochain community, proud of everybody out there who's been, anybody who's been doing the work to educate the public about cryptocurrency, is definitely awesome. Of course, it's interesting to see how, a lot of these different things have been, basically making a lot of these different advancements. And I mean, we want to talk about like the first introduction of Bitcoin, which was digital gold. And then, of course, moving beyond that, we saw something like Ethereum and, the natural evolution of the cryptocurrency space, making a lot of these different milestones and really checking them off as we move along. And I think something like Holochain is a logical next step, when we are actually taking ourselves seriously, in this space. And the more people consider the potential that's in store for a lot of these different things, I think that the businesses that are able to integrate with the growing technologies that we've been seeing, advancing up until this point, and of course further beyond, expanding beyond this point, definitely going to be interesting to see how a lot of these different aspects are going to mesh together. And I think that these videos that we're making right now will be an interesting time capsule for people to remember that, where we were during this time in history, while cryptocurrency was basically making its mark on the space, and hollow fuel and all these different things that we've been seeing taking off. And Holochain agent centric architecture eliminates these bottlenecks in two huge ways. First, each app runs its own P2P encrypted network, not a single blockchain. Since we don't want to worry about 51% attacks on consensus, we can have complete functionality. P2P, and I'm sure that we'll start to see more, of course, like YouTube or, all these different social media platforms. I'm sure that they'll eventually come around to peer-to-peer. I think that it'll, obviously anywhere where they stand to save money is going to be attractive to them, which is also something important to keep in mind. Follow the money. But yeah, all that being said, if you guys are interested in connecting with us, you can do so at our Twitter. That's at CryptoTuber on Twitter. Always interested in hearing what you guys have to say. Definitely interesting to see how far we've come, in just such a short amount of time, and looking forward to seeing where these things will be taking us. And I think that the potential, for a new generation of millionaires to be minted from cryptocurrency, we're starting to really see that building up, that potential on the horizon. So let's get this crypto. Everybody who's been able to accumulate, the potential to own, the potential to own a full Bitcoin, is slowly but surely dwindling, I'd say, with time. Eventually, the thought of somebody owning an entire Bitcoin will be reserved for the elite among us, the wealthy. But hey, I mean, that's all for now. We'll continue to have this conversation on the live stream, which will be proceeding later on today. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure that you subscribe, and of course, leave a comment and a thumbs up. Really helps the channel. Hope you guys have had a nice day and continue to. And let's get this crypto. Have a good one.